Hey, greetings, Dr. Jeffrey Scott. I thought I'd do a quick update. Thanks again to everybody that joined me live. I really do enjoy doing those 4-hour sessions. I think people think I'm nuts, but I like to do justice to when I help people out and mentor them and teach them what I learned from some really smart people that took good care of me. Um, you know, this was the Friday title. It feels like we might be topping here. And it kind of looks like, as far as the futures, that we're going to open up with continuation of that liquidation that we saw on Friday night. So um, I thought I'd do a quick update, take a look at the futures, and in case the market does flip around, I did see a couple stocks that looked okay. Jeffrey Scott is my name, marketmripro@gmail.com, my Google Groups top-down trader. My website does not have 4Ws. That would be kind of funny. Um, Let me fix that right now. I think I can fix that while I'm doing that, but obviously, it's not with 4Ws, so I can take one of those W's off. Let's see if I can make that. Oh, maybe it won't let me take it off. Let's see. Well, I guess I can't take it off just yet. So sorry about that, but it's only 3Ws, marketmripro.com. This is for educational purposes only. Um, I do this to help people understand how I look at the market, how I do top-down analysis. It's not trading advice. It is education. Trading involves risk. You're solely responsible. I'll talk about a couple of stocks. I'm not buying anything until I see what the market does in the morning. Maybe we get a reversal, but I think it's important to know what's going on overnight. My Google Group's called Top Down Trader. You just go to Google Groups, all groups, look for Top Down Trader. Let us know how you want to be contacted. Not a lot of news on Monday morning. Some manufacturing. We'll see if that matters. And we got another big week of earnings with Disney reporting before the market. IDEX, which made it to my short list today. Hess and the oil patch, and we know energy strong right now. It's a judgment call to hold stocks over earnings dates. It's bad judgment to not know when your stock's earnings date is scheduled. Anything information about anything I talk about, my programs, my philosophy of trading, marketmripro@gmail.com, also coding at marketmripro.com. I did post the mentoring session on YouTube, but I never put the slides on YouTube, and I did a options trading event as well. Um, those are on Top Down Trader, the links, so that's a reason to join Top Down Trader. Um, so here's the futures. You can see here it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. We can see the E-minis right here on the daily chart, and that would be Monday's candlestick 2-2, or I guess it's not yet. Yep, Monday's candlestick. And it's trading down right now 58.50%, 0.84%. This trend line here is kind of in an interesting place, and you wonder if that's not kind of where support is going to be. And I would be looking for it not to go below the low back here, which I think might have been November. Really, that wasn't November 20th. December 20th. January 20th low, rather. I'm sorry about that. If we look at the Qs, NASDAQ Qs, they are falling as well. Obvious destination is this trend line. We don't want them to break below this candle here, and the low on that day was 25,025, and right now we are at 25,376. The low on this candle here was 68.1450. The low on this one was 68.29, so we don't want to go below 68.1450 um, on the spider. So we could pull into this trend line and bounce. That would be fine. Same thing here about the NASDAQ. Now we've already pulled into the trend line, which is sitting right at the 50 on the Dow rather, and we've got a low. We want to stay above 48,488 on the Dow, because after that I think we could drop quite a bit down to this trend line. But you do have good support there with the trend line and the 50. The Russell has busted through the trend line. Looks like it's heading down to the 50, which is at 25.71. We don't want it to go down to this low, do we? Not at all. Um, 24.9350 is still quite a ways to go. You could see the VIX is trending higher, no surprise. Look at that, it's got breakout momentum out of a squeeze. We've talked about the VIX has been drifting up, and that's been a concern of mine. Here you can see Bitcoin continues to drop, and Bitcoin closed on Friday. Let me make sure I get my dates here. On the 29th, then this is the 1st, 30th, and that's the 1st, which is today. Closed on the 29th at 84,400. It's currently trading at 76,000, so that's another 10% drop. And we'll look at gold and silver in a minute, and the dollar has rallied some. I'm here looking not at my product, I'm actually looking at TradeStation for those that don't know this. Let's just look at the gold futures. I think I paid for them on this account. Why are we not doing that? Let's see. At GC, and you could see the gold futures are down another, not much, 11.8, 0.25 after a massive drop over on the prior session. And you could see the silver futures are not trading. I think because it's not silver futures yet. Let's make them silver futures. At SI, and we can see the silver futures have bounced a bit and are up 3% after 28% or some fall on the prior session. So I just wanted to see where we're at. I wanted to review a couple other things. We don't need to go through the whole review. If I look at market breadth, I wanted to remind everybody we got confirmed Hindenburg Omens on both the NASDAQ and the NYSE. Here are the 50-day moving averages. And typically, after Hindenburg, if we don't drop below the 50s, we don't have a big correction. Well, we're getting close to the 50 on the NASDAQ. This is the 13-week new high, new low. It's one of my favorite indicators, and when it gets down to very low amounts, and that would be like 0.05, you expect to bounce. We're at 53 and at 26, so we're nowhere close to that bounce there. What else can I show you? If we look across other indexes at that same thing, we're at 55 on the spiders, 0.58 on the S&P 1500. We already looked at the NASDAQ, and the Russell's 0.49. So we don't have anything that says we've got a bounce coming. I think we could sell off a little bit more, and I'll be looking for those January 20th lows to see if they will hold or not. And that would be my concern. On the timing model, we went into the weekend. Here's the weekly charts above the WMA with green bongos everywhere except for the Qs. So the Qs are at risk, but they're still in a weekly buy because they're above the WMA. While at the same time, the daily charts don't look nearly as pretty. And you could see that we flipped to a sell on the Qs, the diamonds, and the Russell. Last thing I want to do is just talk about a couple of different things here. If this market continues to weaken, I'll do more than raise cash, and I'll start to look at going directionally short. Now, I don't like shorting stocks. It's just my mentality. I'd rather buy puts because if the market goes the other way, I don't have to worry too much. But again, that is a mentality thing. Buying a put in some ways is worse than going short because I got premium to pay. It's better than going short because I'm totally controlling how much I'm willing to lose if I'm long a put. Another way is to look at the contra ETF. So let's just see if they're giving us any setup signals yet. So just look, dog goes up when the diamonds go down. That's not a bullish candle. Not a bullish candle at all. A breakout above the 50 and a close above the 50, or pull above, pull back, and go higher, this might be something to look at. The SPXS will go up when the S&P 500 falls. Again, do we have a buy signal here? We don't. A break above that 50, I'd probably pay attention to it. The SQQQ will go up when the Qs go down. Again, it's up off the bottoms. It might be getting ripe. Look at that relative strength. But until I close above that 50, I'm not going to touch it. And the TZA will go up when the small caps go down, and you could see it starting to move. This might be the first one to start to think about. Now, the problem with the TZA, it's a $6 stock. It's hard for me to make money on a $6 stock. So I might look at TNA. Oh, that's the problem there. And TNA is a much more expensive stock, and I might short TNA. But right now, I want to see what the market does at the open. I can't go back to Friday and make these trades. And semiconductors, short the semiconductors has not been a place to be, but I'll be watching this if the market sells off. FAZ financials seem to be weak right now. So has FAZ started to move? Um, all right, we have a split there that we have to fix. But FAZ, really, it's got above the 50, is going to retest here. This one might look interesting. So contra ETFs are one thing I'm thinking about. Now, there's a long way before the market opens. And when the futures actually open today, and let's go back to the futures, and let's go into a 5-minute chart. They opened low. All right, let's open them up. Come on. And I think I'm going to change it to a 15 because I'm not capturing it all here. So let's just see what I can do there. Okay, come on. All right, let's look at 15 minutes. Because what I wanted to show you is the futures traded lower, then they recovered, not back to flat line, and then they started selling off hard. And they've got trend line resistance above them. So until I break above that trend line, it's no bueno to go long. But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to log into Thinkorswim, which is my trading platform. Why? Because if this market starts to sell off hard, which it may, everybody you know is going to be logging in. And historically, when it was TD Ameritrade, they had performance issues. I'm then going to watch the futures and look for a reversal. And I'm going to look to see what things are reversing first. We may not see a reversal, but I want to keep my eyes out on a reversal. I'm going to be maintaining and playing defensive on my existing positions. I have a lot of puts on them already. I may have to raise some more cash. And then here are a couple of stocks that I looked at that looked interesting. And there is a theme. Stock number one, COR, Cencora, drug distributor, does well in tough times. Here's your little cup, a little bit of a handle and getting ready to break out. It had CPR and a breakout signal. Relative strength and OBV looks good. In that family are MCK McKesson. I like the other one better. It's above the 50 more and having some more momentum, and Cardinal Health. But all three of these are probably going to do good. This one looks fine too if this market is going to languish here. Pharma, especially big pharma, pays nice dividends. Merck, except for the fact that earnings are coming out, it broke out on Friday on great volume with a CPR volume breakup momentum from a squeeze with good relative strength in OBV. My guess is that the breakout occurred because they're not in the list of IRA drugs for 28. Um, Nothing right there just jumps out at me. And then the other thing is their earnings date is February 3rd. So that's a problem. Although, some people might then go look at seasonality. Merck looks like it's getting ready to go. Why not wait till the earnings come out? Now, if the economy is going to go into recession, and I'm a believer of that, although I don't know why, Robert Half International, which I think of as a company that's involved in the employment space and, headhunter, big gap up on Friday. Was that earnings out, and it doesn't look good, but there was a surprise on earnings and revenue, so it wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. So does this one go higher? Now, why would I care about that? Because look at ASGN, which I think used to be called On Assignment, and I'm not certain, so let's look and see what it says it does. Yep, placement services. And look at this one breaking out above the 200 with a nice looking candle on a horrible day. Earnings are this week, February 4th, but maybe there is something there underneath. A couple other things that looked interesting. Walmart. Earnings are also coming, 219, so you've got a little bit more time. And I could probably draw my favorite little line here too. Did this thing just break out too? Walmart looks good. And I'm long Walmart for full disclosure. And then what else did I think looked interesting? JMIA, I'm also long. And in a rough market day, look how beautiful this is. Moving up off the 50. The prior day, they actually on this day here, they had volume breakout momentum and they didn't do much on Friday. They were down a little bit, 3%, but closed with a doji halfway on this bar. That one looked interesting to me. And then INVA. So even in a horrible market day, you can find some things that look good. This one just looks like it's setting up here, starting to get on the right side of the cup with a bunch of blue dots, relative strength and OBV. So I'm going to leave it right there with my commentary being be careful, open your platform early so you're not shut out, raise cash if you're in margin or if you're concerned about your position size, be prepared to take some heat. But if we see a recovery, I'm going to be looking at some of these stocks and what else, what other things that might be recovering fast. So be prepared for a tough open. I'm going to be. It might be another ugly day. And I'll just end with a saying that I've developed over the years. Heed the Hindi.